Good evening. You're watching the main news on HKIBC. I'm Raymond Yeung. Here are tonight's top stories. There's a call for people to get COVID jabs as cases increase, straining hospital resources. Most mainland visitors pay under 500 yuan to tour Hong Kong, and many stay for just a day, according to government figures. And in Taiwan, a passenger is killed when a crane plunges from a high-rise building and hits a moving train. Hospital wards are filling up fast as COVID infections rise. People have been urged to be fully vaccinated because the antibody level declines after 6 months. Janice So reports.
Public hospitals are under immense pressure. That's because over 6,000 people are flocking to the accident and emergency departments every day. The occupancy rate of medical wards has reached over 100%, with more than 2,100 COVID patients in hospital as of Monday. This follows a surge in COVID and flu cases.
But the most important respiratory disease during this time is still COVID. Although there are some influenza cases, especially a month ago, we see an upsurge in influenza case, but now seems to be settling, seems to be peaking.
1/3 of patients, or over 400, admitted to hospital each day tested positive for COVID. North Lantau Hospital has opened a ward for COVID patients and will open another to provide over 140 beds by tomorrow as infections rise. Patients requiring infirmary service would be transferred to the infection center. Although most people in Hong Kong have already caught COVID, Zhang urged residents to get fully vaccinated.
And this so-called the herd immunity can also protect the patients from further infections. But having said that, the antibody will win over time, especially after 6 months.
Zhang added that members of the public, especially those in high-risk groups, should also be inoculated against flu. Janice Low, HKIBC.
Lawmakers have approved a bill that requires overseas lawyers to get the chief executive's approval before they can take part in national security cases. Speaking before the vote, legal sector legislator Ambrose Lam said foreign lawyers should be banned from national security cases. Centrist lawmaker Teck Chi-yuen was concerned that judicial independence could be at risk and urged the government to disclose how it reaches a decision on foreign lawyers. The councillors voted by a show of hands to amend the Legal Practitioners Ordinance. The move was sparked by a tussle between the government and Jimmy Lai on whether British barrister Tim Owen can defend the media mogul in a national security case. The government has revealed that most mainland tour groups charge their clients only 500 yuan or less to visit the city, and a large number of visitors stayed for just 1 day. Macy Mock reports.
The government says members of most mainland tour groups paid less than 500 yuan each for a short stay. This was stated in Tourism Minister Kevin Yun's written reply to lawmakers. Between February the 6th, when the border was fully reopened, and last Sunday, 9,674 mainland tour groups visited Hong Kong. 39% of that total arrived on one-day tours, and almost half stayed for 2 days. Only 14% spent 3 days or more in the city. Yeung said the Travel Industry Authority did not receive any complaints about the visitors, but there were 7 requests for assistance from them. He added that between March the 29th and last Sunday, members of about 1,700 tour groups paid 500 yuan or less for their trip. About 500 groups charged their customers more than 1,500 yuan. The statistics were disclosed as lawmaker Imran Khan complained that local residents were inconvenienced by road obstructions and an influx of mainland visitors to non-traditional venues such as To Kwa Wan. Lawmaker Jeffrey Lam expressed concerns that services provided by low-cost tour groups have tarnished Hong Kong's reputation. Some visitors, he said, were taken to public housing estates. Lam also alleged that some tour guides asked their clients to help smuggle cigarettes to the mainland. Tourism Undersecretary Raymond Yeung said there had been no complaints about visitors being forced to shop. He said more than 450 tour groups arrived during the Golden Week holiday, and all was smooth at control points and tourist hotspots. Maisie Mock, HKIBC.
For the second year in a row, the Catholic Diocese of Hong Kong will not organize a mass to mourn the victims of the Tiananmen Square crackdown. The annual memorial was cancelled for the first time last year over national security law concerns. It was last held in 2020 at 7 churches across the city, just weeks before the far-reaching legislation came into force. The diocese instead urged Catholics to attend a prayer session for the church in China later this month. The announcement came just weeks after Bishop Stephen Chow visited Beijing, becoming the first church official from the SAR to travel north since the handover. An elected member has decided to bow out when district councils are revamped. The vice chairwoman of the body in Sham Shui Po says she feels that the people's opinions won't be properly reflected when there are fewer elected councillors. Janice Low reports.
When the Sham Shui Po District Council met yesterday, elected vice chairwoman Jeanette Ng tried to voice her concerns about the revamp of the municipal bodies. But she was stopped by District Officer Paul Wong. Wong said the judiciary had advised that the issue Ng brought up was not in accordance with an article in the District Council's ordinance on the functions of the bodies. He said the revamp is a city-wide matter. Wong and the other government officers then left the meeting. Ng said she was shocked by what had transpired.
We're very disappointed about his behavior. I think the most important point they don't want in the written record, because they just want the supporters support this revamp, and they don't want to have any objection or other opinions about the coming elections they are forming.
Ng has decided not to run for a seat on the district council, as she felt she would not be able to convey the public's concerns in a body where most members are appointed or nominated. Earlier, Home Affairs Minister Alice Mak defended the overhaul. She told the online news outlet HKO1 that it would be unfair to claim that the new arrangement would give government officials too much power. From next year, the councils will be chaired by district officers and not by someone elected by the members. Mak denied that this would give district officers too much power, noting that they have been serving the community. She cited their work as coordinators during the 5th COVID wave. Janice Low, HKIBC.
At least one person was killed and 8 other people were injured in central Taiwan when a crane tumbled from a high-rise building and hit a moving train. The authorities vowed to severely punish those responsible for the tragedy. Chloe Fong reports.
This was a terrifying moment when a crane perched on the top of a 31-story building in Taichung City broke apart and plunged into a moving train below. The tragedy, which occurred around lunchtime, was captured by a closed-circuit television camera. Some passengers posted videos online showing the severely damaged train. Part of the crane was stuck inside one carriage and ripped it in half when the train kept running. The head firefighter in the central Taiwanese city said at least one person was killed. The victim was identified as a 52-year-old female passenger who was thrown off her seat and fell under the moving train. 8 others were injured, including children and a foreigner. Taichung Mayor Lu Xiuyan said the crane could have already fallen onto the track, and the train was unable to brake in time. Construction work at the scene of the crash has been suspended while an investigation is launched. Lu warned of severe fines for those, including builders and contractors, who are found to be responsible for the accident. Chloe Fong, HKIBC.
Pakistan is reported to be on a knife edge as supporters of former Prime Minister Imran Khan clashed with police in several cities. A billboard was dismantled from a flyover bridge in the capital Islamabad as Khan loyalists vented their anger over his arrest. In violent protests elsewhere, at least one person was killed in the southwestern city of Quetta, and scores of people were injured in other places. More than 1,000 arrests were made as Khan appeared in an Islamabad court to fight allegations of corruption. The 70-year-old cricketer turned politician was arrested yesterday after police stormed another courtroom. Khan said he was the victim of a political conspiracy, a claim denied by the government.
This is an arrest which is not motivated by any political victimization. This is an arrest which was not done at the behest of the government. It is an arrest that was made by the National Accountability Bureau, the institution that is supposed to look after corruption cases in the country.
A jury in New York has found that former U.S. President Donald Trump has sexually abused a magazine columnist, but dismissed her claim that she was raped. Trump was ordered to pay $5 million to E. Jean Carroll, who accused him of raping her in the dressing room of a New York department store in 1996. The jury also found that the former president had defamed Carroll by describing her claim as a hoax. Trump, who did not attend the trial, said the verdict was a disgrace, adding that he did not know his accuser. As it was a civil case, the finding is not expected to affect his re-election bid. Trump plans to appeal.
This was a rape claim. It was a rape case all along, and the jury rejected that, but made other findings. So we'll obviously be appealing those other findings, but they rejected her rape claim, and she'd always claimed this was a rape case. So it's a little perplexing, but we move forward.
The Hang Seng Index lost 0.5% today, falling for the second consecutive session, as traders waited for the latest U.S. inflation data. Chinese state-owned lenders were among the biggest losers. China Construction Bank, Bank of China, ICBC, and Agricultural Bank of China each gave up between 2% and 3%. Auto shares, however, edged up before the release of their quarterly results, with Great Wall Motor advancing over 6% and Li Auto 3%. Now let's take a look at the markets. The Hang Seng Index ended the day down by 105 points. To the top 10 active stocks, Tencent picked up $1.20. The tracker fund was down 9 cents, while Alibaba was up 75 cents. Meituan down $1.30. BYD up $5.80, while JD.com was down 90 cents. The forex trading against the Hong Kong dollar, the euro's at 8.57, the pound sterling 9.87, and the Australian dollar at 5.28. And finally, in Europe, the London FTSE is currently down 10 points. On to the weather now. Tomorrow will be cloudy mixed by sunny intervals during the day. Temperatures will range between 23 and 26 degrees. Expect thunderstorms over the weekend. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. That's our main news for Wednesday night. Join us for more news at 11. I'm Raymond Yeung. Good night.